This video will introduce how to use PLC to control the lubricating oil on the machine, including inspection and alarm. Application situation. The lubricating oil supplement on the machine is controlled by O point, and the oil quantity controller or the tube detection is controlled by I point. When the electric oil pump is running, check the pressure in the tube after waiting for a short of time. If the pressure is abnormal, an alarm will be notified. Once the lubricating oil is not enough, there should be another alarm notice. And stop machining to ensure that is always under sufficient lubricating oil. Application specification. The specifications of the pump filling oil can be divided into standby and machining. After the pump started for 5 seconds, the system began to check whether the pressure is normal, and stop filling when the pressure reaches. If the pressure is abnormal, an alarm will be notified and filling will be stopped. In addition, the alarm won't be removed until the reset or emergency stop button are pressed. When the oil quantity in the oil tank is not enough, a warning will be notified. If the program is during machining, it won't be interrupted. Once an alarm or warning appears in the standby state, machining cannot be conducted. If the cycle start button is pressed, a hint message will appear. Application device. Here is a total device which we used to apply in this example. Note that here we replace I bit by S bit in order to convenient for testing in the simulator. This example can be divided into 4 logic: filling oil, inspection, alarm, and start protection. The following video will have a detailed introduction. The logic of filling oil. The pump can be started by output O5 under the 2 conditions which are standby and machining timer. When the O5 is triggered, it will be self-holding until the end of the inspection, or pressing the emergency stop. 2 timers are triggered after the pump stops filling under the condition of whether the S0 is triggered or not. Therefore, only 1 timer will be triggered. The timing time is 3,600 seconds and 300 seconds respectively. The logic of inspection. Once the pump starts filling, the timer will start to run for 5 seconds before the oil pressure sensor inspection. Normal and abnormal pressure will trigger A80 and A81, respectively. Both outputs interrupt O5 self-holding and stop pump filling. The logic of alarm. When the oil pressure is abnormal and A81 is triggered, an alarm R44.5 is triggered immediately and is used self-holding to notify the user. If this alarm happens during the machining, it will trigger C1 to stop machining to avoid that the lubricating oil is not enough. In addition, once the oil quantity is insufficient, the R44.20 warning notice will be triggered, which is also to be self-holding. The logic of start protection. In the standby state, avoid machining under any lubrication problems. As long as R44.5 and R44.20 are triggered, the machining cannot be started. Moreover, if the cycle start button is pressed in this case, it will trigger R590.5 to give the hint message. PLC alarm, warning and hint string. For the new version of Syntec IDE can create the PLC alarm string file in the project directly. First of all, double-click the ladder icon on the Syntec IDE. Secondly, double-click here to create alarm string file. Thirdly, select the English in the pop-up the language choose window. Finally, double-click PLC alarm string file to open the alarm editor. By selecting different pages in the alarm editor, PLC alarm, warning, and hint string can be edited separately. Packaging of PLC alarm string file. After editing and saving, the file stored under the project. In addition, we can use the Syntec IDE packaging function to install PLC alarm string file into the controller. When an alarm is triggered on the simulator or controller, an alarm window pops up. Note that only the alarm will remain in the history record.